One thing that we have a couple of us have been doing is going in to do a little bit of pottery. James has his kind of like setup in the studio with where he's been making pottery. He's doing like bowls and cups and stuff. I think he invited Rob and his girlfriend to go in the other week, and they made a very nice bowl. Actually, he sent over a picture. It was very nice. White Pottery Games.
Myself and OJ are here to give you a small update on where we're at with the project and the kind of work that we're doing, which essentially boils down to we're kind of entering the final stages of art creation. I think that means for us more than anything is that a lot of the artwork that was put into the game in a way that was just functional and allowed for design iteration and give us the ability to make changes on the fly. We've now reached a point where all those decisions have been made, and really we're just saying, okay, well, now that we know all of these parameters that surround this piece of art, we can actually finish it and put all the polish and work that we need into it. For a lot of stuff, I've been waiting for sort of puzzles and things to be finalized, and while those have been, for the most part, finalized for a while, I've not had a chance to actually go in and introduce any VFX or tech or anything like that. So that's what my focus is actually now on these 2 weeks.
In terms of what I'm working on currently, I've just finished recently any kind of assets that design requested for this last kind of milestone we were working towards. The levels function really well, but when you're working on them and when everything's in there, you find that you might need an extra note here or there to really drive home a narrative point or to guide on a puzzle. So I was bringing a lot of those assets online, and they're now all in place. So anything like critical narrative or design focused is in game. An example of what I'm working on today is a banister and a stairwell for a scene that was really important and pivotal. And it just was made out of boxes for a long time. It was just built out of cubes. And now all the animation's locked in, the gameplay's locked in. I can take this mesh and make the final stairwell. So a lot of kind of backgrounds, environment art tasks that just were not like a real priority are really being like polished and finished at this point.
We're about to be coming up to our content lock, which means for me, a lot of the 3D work that I've been working on, I'm coming around to doing like the polish of any of the stuff that needs like that little bit extra.
Basically, we had this meeting several months ago where OJ and James sort of spoke to me and Nicola, and they said, look, we want to put you guys each in your own level. And that way, when you're making stuff, it's you can kind of just stay focused on this one space and the types of things that are in this level.
I'm working on a couple of assets that are going to help basically fill out the world a lot more. So kind of things like food and other extra little bits that you might find around that will kind of make the world feel a lot more like alive.
So for me, I've been put in one of the levels, and a lot of the materials, a lot of the objects and things that you find there are all like quite similar in some way. So I've obviously had a lot of time to practice now, but what helps when it comes to polishing is that I've already done all of this stuff a few months ago now. So nothing's like, I know what's coming down the pipe and nothing's ever going to be a shock to me.
One of the tasks that I've been working on recently has been creating photographs that will be throughout the game of some of the characters when they were possibly like a bit younger and that sort of thing. With these photographs, they definitely take quite a bit of conversation, because especially if they're photographs that are from like, a couple of years previous in the game's kind of timeline, they have to, make sense with everything else that's current in the game. Conversations will often happen between me and NJ, our writer, and also OJ will kind of all talk together, and that's one of the polish kind of jobs that I'm working on at the minute.
Some of the things I'm working on right now is one of the central sort of puzzle pieces in the level. It's kind of like a place that you'll be going back to a few times, so I'm definitely spending extra time on that one, which is it's going well. Yeah, it's all, I'm just in the groove really, so it's just more of the same for art week after week.
So you're it's a card game that's gone awry, or something's happened in the world, like, you know, through set dressing and through applying this to the scene, you just add that extra layer of like story, of like life to the world, and the levels really come alive in this last stage with those touches.
It's kind of interesting with that as well, because a lot of those little things we already knew we wanted to do, but sometimes once you like start actually using the assets and putting them in there and sort of going, okay, this is it now, other little things emerge, and you start new little bits that just are really nice to sort of get to the point where you can make those decisions and just say, yeah, that's final, that's really cool. Oh, this little thing came up actually, and it makes total sense, and it's really nice, and it ties this other thing together. So little things like that are really nice to see.
I've got a spreadsheet for every level with like specific tasks I've got to complete, and like yesterday I like nearly wiped off a whole level because the task was so like specifically environmental and just things that I knew I needed to do, but it was so like small, it just wasn't in my radar for a long time. I can just like fly through these levels, finishing these tasks off, and it's really fulfilling. Like it's nice to see the levels get to this stage now and not be panicking and not no flashing lights going off. Everything's been really planned well. The levels, you know, there's so much thought gone into everything that there's a blueprint there to work with that makes it a lot easier to kind of execute these final stages.
Almost all the animation's done. Almost everything's had a complete polish pass and is in the game now, which is a weird feeling, but it's a good feeling. Like to know that all this bulk of work that's been sort of looming over you for so long is now at least had a pass. Some of it is not necessarily to the standard that we want, but it's it's workable. You know, it gives everyone else who needs animation their chance to get their stuff done and get it in on time. And then we can go back over the animations, do more passes, more iterations. We've only got a couple of weeks left before what we call our goal submission. In terms of specifically animation, we're now quite lucky that we're at a stage where we're focusing on fixing a lot of the major bugs that relate to animation. So anything that we'd class as a game breaker or a must fix bug that, you know, stops the player from progressing through a level or through part of the game, or something maybe visually distracting that breaks the immersion of the player. So a lot of that happens at the moment where characters are disappearing, you know, the physics on people's cloth is skirts are going above heads, characters are popping into T-poses, you know, that's a common one.
We have set priorities for each bug that we do. So what we've been doing, me and Rob specifically as well, we've been playing through the latest build of the game and just we played all the way through it and just noted down all of the animation things specifically that we need to change. So we have them set as must fix bugs, but then we've got A, B, and C bugs. So these are things that like A really need to change, and then obviously B and C are lower versions of that. So you've got C, where there'll be things that we'll see like, you know, oh, it would be nice if the character blinked there instead, or, you know, an eye dart there might be nice, and really small niggly things that just we would like to get done, but, you know, we'll note them down, but we don't necessarily have time to do it.
Face effects and facial animations and subtitle work, yeah, it's obviously completely different to art. A couple of issues that we have sort of ran into, not so much issues, but, you know, challenges towards the end now. You know, let's say there's a particular scene that's taken place and, you know, you might only be able to see one character, so that character's been animated. But maybe now, you know, after various play tests and designer meetings, they're like, hold on, we actually kind of want to see this character. So it's making sure that is relayed back to me, so I know to do the face effects work for the character that now needs it, and that also goes hand in hand with like localization work. And, you know, we've been sending a lot of dialogue off to be localized for months now, but, you know, what can and does happen is that the more people play the game, bits have to be changed, tweaked, edited, you know, removed entirely. You know, when that's the case, it's like you don't want to be sending, you know, let's say in a folder of 100, you know, pieces of dialogue, 25 of them need to be changed. You don't want to send another 100 lines of dialogue to be localized because that's more money to spend. And then when you tie that into the fact that we're still adding content, I've just had like maybe 250 files now that need to go through the whole procedure, on top of changes and tweaks now that I need to do, as well as like various mistakes that other people have pointed out that I need to get on and fix. It all, it adds up and it comes to a head. But it's mostly been smooth, but it's definitely a different part of the brain and a lot of things in the air to keep track of with face effects and localization.
It's difficult to break yourself away from the work because it's something that you do enjoy doing. As you see all these pieces come together right near the end, everything all of a sudden starts to work and all of a sudden it starts to make sense.
Yeah, it's such a weird feeling knowing that this is the first game I've worked on, which, is a huge thing for me personally, and it coming to an end. Now that it's getting closer and closer, we're starting to do the promotions. The trailer came out on E3, and that was such a huge deal. And now we've got like a Discord server, and people are interacting and coming to us and saying how excited they are. It just feels so much more real now.